Hi Jules Cruise Companion. Today I'm sitting in an inside cabin on Carnival Splendor, and this is the amount of money that I paid for a 10-night cruise to the Pacific Islands out of Sydney. The cruise itself I had to book for 2 people because it wouldn't allow me to do a solo booking. So the cruise itself cost $1,020 for 2 people, technically, for 10 nights to the Pacific Islands. Because I live on the Sunshine Coast, I had to fly into Sydney and I flew in the night before. My flight to Sydney on Virgin cost me $115, and my flight from Sydney back to the Sunshine Coast is going to be on Jetstar, and that cost me $150. Because I always fly in the night before, I purchased accommodation, and that cost me $160 for the accommodation the night before the cruise. I would never ever be crazy enough to travel on the day of a cruise. Because I had to get to and from the airport, I Ubered, and using the example of getting me from my home to the Sunshine Coast airport cost me $26 with tip on Uber. I will use that as my comparison to be going home, the price that it will be. And so that will be $26 each way. And then when I got to Sydney, I caught the train from the airport into the city, and that cost me $20.60. That's gone up an additional 20 cents since the last time. I was actually going to Uber from my hotel to the port, but it was only 1.8 kilometres and it was all downhill down George Street and Pitt Street. So I actually walked from the hotel, which was at Liverpool Street, just near World Centre, World Marketplace. And so I just walked the 1.8 kilometres down the hill to Circular Quay. It was a lovely, brisk little morning walk. Every cruise out of Australia requires travel insurance, and because I have a pre-existing condition, for this trip for 10 nights, my travel, or 11 nights because I put an extra one in for the night before, just in case anything went wrong, was $205. So it would have been probably $180, but because I have a pre-existing condition, they add an additional amount to my premium. Because this is going to be a 10-night cruise, I chose to have the largest Wi-Fi package, and for the 10 nights that's going to cost me $213 because I like to stay in contact with family and friends all over the world. Because I'm not a drinker at the moment, I did buy the soft drink package, so at $9.90 a day pre-purchased. I think it's about $11 when you buy it on board. So that cost me about $99, which is about $100 for that. But ironically, I got a message just last night to say that I have qualified for the casino package, so I get 15 free drinks out of the casino now. Don't know how I'm going to drink that. But anyway, that's what I've been offered, and I can only have them in the casino when they're served to me while playing in the slots or on the tables. With this being a 10-night cruise, it is a 4-port cruise, so I'm going to be doing an excursion so that I can vlog about each one for the channel. And so I purchased every port excursion cost less than $100, or averaged out to be about $87 each for each of the ports. One of them was, a bit higher, 99. One of them was a bit lower, 67 or whatever. So averaged out at about $87 something or other per excursion for the 4 ports. So if you add up the cruise, the flights and the accommodation, that came to about $1,545. When you added up the insurance, the Wi-Fi, the drinks and the excursion, that came to about $867, bringing the grand total to $2,412. But the bonus for this one is I had access to $200 onboard credit for the cabin. So I took that off the excursions, etc. So in reality, my cruise cost me $2,212. The way that I assess to see if a cruise is going to be a good value for money is dividing the number of nights of the cruise or the trip over the final price of it. So even if I was dividing it by the 10 nights of the cruise, that gives me $221 per night. So for that is food, travel and accommodation, most drinks, and it will be drinks now. I think that's pretty good value for money as a per person price. As I say, I booked this intentionally as a solo, but couldn't book as a solo. I had to pay for 2 people. When I originally did the booking and as a solo, it would have only cost me $700. But once I got to the payment process, it said that there was no cabins available for a solo traveller. So I had to go back to the beginning of the booking and book for 2 people. I got another person's consent to put their details on the booking. And so I actually had to pay for 2 people to come on this cruise, but it was still a really good value for a solo traveller in an inside cabin. And it's very quiet. Even though it's in the aft, there's not too much movement. This is Julie Jules Cruise Companion saying, stay safe everybody and happy travels.